What is up, guys, and welcome to today's video. So with less than 2 weeks to go before Dragonflight gets released, I figure now would kind of be a good time to just take a look at Arcane Mage and look at all this stuff that we got coming for us. I mean, Arcane Mage is looking hella good for the next expansion. There's no other way to put it. The toolkit that we've gotten from our new talents in the talent trees have just been amazing. Like, I never thought I'd see the day where we could have Ice Flows, Blast Wave with an increased knockback, and Slipstream just be all available at the same time. Like, it's just insane. Like, Arcane Mage is already super mobile. Like, we didn't really have too many issues with that, but to add those tools to our toolkit, on top of our barrier getting like a snare removal like tool built into it, it's just been kind of ridiculous. Like, I never thought I'd see Arcane Mage have this much utility to it and just make it so much more fun. Like, I don't know what else to say, guys. Like, the last thing I saw coming too was the Arcane Power change. Like, I didn't see a new spell coming in to kind of replace Arcane Power out of left field. I don't think anybody did, but I mean, they found a way to make it work. It's just a really fun ability. Having Arcane Surge just with Arcane Power baked into it, it's just been amazing. And to top it all off, guys, we're still level 60, so we're going to be getting more talent points as we level up, just to kind of pick that last couple of talents that we want out of the tree, just to really round out the spec. Like, I'm really looking forward to Radiant Spark kind of carrying over in the next expansion. That's going to be really fun. But we can also pick up that the Arcane Harmony talent with, you know, the whole Arcane Missiles increases the damage of your barrage. Like, that's going to be insane combined with the Barrage Execute talent that we got a little bit further up the tree. Barrage is just going to tank people. That thing is going to chunk next expansion. And then on top of that, let me know if I'm alone here, guys. But Time Anomaly. So that's been a talent that's been around for a while. I always thought it was a really fun talent just to have. It might not have been the most viable because it's just a random proc. But I don't know, guys. Like, the fact that we can pick that up at the bottom of the mage tree and just randomly have the chance that Time Warp goes off in the middle of a rematch, like, that's going to be insane haste. Especially early on, like when we don't have the best gear in the first season of the new expansion, everybody's stats are going to be a lot lower than what they were at the end of the previous expansion. So to have that haste buff be there is just going to be insane, and it's going to be noticeable. The only sad part I really had about the pre-patch was having the main choice between either Dragon's Breath or Greater Invisibility. I miss Greater Invisibility so much after using regular Invis, so, like, for these past few weeks. Just makes you realize how much you miss the spell once it's gone. But Dragon's Breath was super fun to play around with, getting used to that. So I'm glad I could pick that up, but coming into the next expansion, it'll be a really good feeling to get Greater Invis back. So another thing I wanted to kind of touch on that's been changed a little bit is the PvP talents for Mage. So obviously we got a lot of our common stuff in there, like we got the Arcane Empowerment for our missile stacks, we got Arcanosphere, Kleptomania, Mass Invis, but the big changes is Ice Wall and Ring of Fire have been added, so basically any mage, regardless of your spec, can pick up those two spells, and that is it's going to be really weird. Like, it's going to be one of those things where you're going to definitely practice with each of them just to get used to learning, like, how to use it, when to use it, and just feeling comfortable with it. But Ice Wall always seemed like a super fun ability when it first came out. Like, that thing was just insane. Like, you can pull off some plays with it if you just know how to use it, like whether it's blocking somebody off in a room or just, like, basically, making your own line of sight around a wall. It's like your own little, I don't want to say smoke bomb, but something similar to that. Just make a line of sight vanish or appear out of thin air. And then Ring of Fire. It's like we have pretty much all our damage baked into Arcane, but this thing is just going to be, that one spell we can cast and kind of rely on for some decent damage if we're locked out in Arcane. Or we can just cast it for free, and if they kick it, well, probably a really, really bad move by the enemy, and you just ate a kick for free, basically. So having those two is going to be really something to, I guess, definitely worth looking into, learning how to use them, and just having it be available in your toolkit is going to be really nice. So the last talent I want to cover is that new talent that I'm pretty sure has been added to all like caster DPS classes, but it's called Precognition, and it's that talent that basically says when you get a kick used on you while you're not casting, so like if you juke a kick, you get a haste buff and a CC immunity buff for like some short term, so like 4 seconds or something like that. Which honestly, this is just I don't know how much it'll be used at higher ends, to be honest. I'm guessing not that much, but I feel like early on in arenas or something that you're pretty comfortable with juking or can juke easily on, this thing is just going to be hella fun. Like, basically a reward for juking a cast outside of being able to free cast. It's like, oh, hey, you juked this Demon Hunter's kick. Now for the next 3 or 4 seconds or whatever, he can't pop a stun on you and CC you. You're basically free reigning for a couple of casts, and let's give you a little bit extra haste so you can pull a couple more of them off. It's just going to be really insane. It's nice to see something like this put into the game. Really fun talent overall, and yeah, I mean, looking up going forward, like this is going to be so fun, guys. So the last thing I kind of want to talk to you guys about is another really big change coming for PvP next expansion, and that's obviously going to be the Soul Shuffle. It was introduced in Shadowlands as a brawl and kind of a, I guess, a test phase, you could call it. Basically, they were just seeing how much interest there was in it, working out all the little bugs here and there, and it's obviously confirmed next expansion to be a rated event, so you can get rating in this thing, and I'm assuming actually get, you know, rated PvP gear from it. And it's just huge. Like, it eliminates one of the biggest hurdles that I feel like I've had personally for this expansion is I just want to hop on and play. Obviously I can go into LFG and try to find a partner or make my own group and see if anybody joins, but I feel like that's such a big struggle some days where if I just want to hop on for like an hour and a half, I don't want to be spending 40 or 30 minutes of that time looking for a partner that's willing to play with an Arcane Mage, have them leave after the first loss, and then you're back in LFG for another 20 minutes and just call it quits because you can't find somebody. With Soul Shuffle, I literally just hop on, queue for like I would a BG, and I can get right into rated PvP. So I don't know if you guys have had the same issues, but it's just a really convenient way for somebody that's looking to do rated but not spend hours on the game. You can still grind out, you know, something that's worthwhile. Obviously we've had a few problems with it though. Tanks have been a big issue with everybody. A lot of people are up in arms and just hate that tanks are in to begin with. I've just kind of learned to accept the fact that tanks have been around in PvP for long enough where they aren't going away, so we just gotta kind of learn how to deal with them. I know they announced a new change that they're making for Solo Shuffle with the whole, basically instead of having like, you know, one tank on each side and 2 DPS, they're eliminating that and making it so each side does have one like guaranteed healer, and there's going to be one tank per match, which in all fairness, like playing the devil's advocate here, everybody's got to play with that tank, so you get your couple, like 2 or 3 rounds with the tank, and then you got your rounds against the tank. So it's about as balanced as it'll get, where everybody gets the same like opportunity to play with them and has to play against them. Sure, it's going to be annoying. They're probably going to be tuning a bunch of stuff with tanks as the season goes on. Might be painful at first, but you know, you can't play the game being miserable the whole time and expect to have fun. Like, you just gotta hope for the best, do what you can do, but I'm not gonna let tanks ruin PvP for me or ruin this amazing thing that's been added to the game. But other than that, I'm just really looking forward to it. It's gonna be, you know, a nice way for people to just hop on the game, queue something that they might not normally be able to on ladder and find a group for, or just, you know, just a nice relaxing way to push up rating without requiring to go into LFG. So that's going to be it for me today, guys. I appreciate you listening this long if you're still around. But yeah, we got less than 2 weeks for Dragonflight. Definitely looking forward to it. Got a couple days off work, so I'm super excited about that. Going to be playing release night and a couple days after, just grinding out the levels real quick and getting to that max level cap as soon as possible. But other than that, nothing really too much coming up. One thing, well, I'm not even going to say it's a promise, but I'm looking forward to the next expansion to try and be a little bit more proactive on the YouTube channel. Just release a video more than once every 2 or 3 months or something like that. we all know how well my promises in the past go with the YouTube channel, so I'm not going to make any promises, but I'm just going to say I'm going to put in an effort to try and basically be around more than, you know, once every blue moon. But that's it for me, guys. So until next time, this is Spart out.